Boom, 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 boom. Hello, everybody.
Hey
Den for
guys.
you. Hello. Oh, he put that 3 hours ago. I don't know if he's still around. Who have we got on board? We got 9 already in the house. This is going to be an interesting day, guys. Let's see who we got. Hello, hello, hello. I figured we had a request from somebody yesterday about playing having fun with Elvis on stage. So I cut down some clips, and I'm going to put it a little bit in the background while we're getting ready to well, we lost 2 people. I guess they didn't like the sound of my voice. Oh, right now we're up to 12. We gained 2 people. All right, so layers. All right, so let me see. Where do I have that? I got it right. Is it there? Where did I put those? Okay, that's not them. Well, shoot. Oh, maybe it's here. My name is Rick. I'm a Blue Moon guy. All right, let's get rid of Rick and Cam's faces there. Oop. Well, hello, everybody. 20 people on board. So what have we got?
Hi, Barb.
Teresa, hello.
Hi, Den for you, Teresa.
Barb. Hey, Barb. 22. Wow, look at we're cranking up already with
Lily, Lori, Deb. I'm nailing you guys as you come on, otherwise I'm going to forget all.
I'm going to put a little. Yesterday we had a request. So I'm going to see if I can put this in the background while we're going because it's really cool.
Here we go again, man. It's like my horse just left.
This is from the Having Fun with Elvis on stage with Elvis album that came out in '74. Oh, you're awake here and once for all. What is it? 10 for you. That's not too bad.
Total fool of myself. I hope you get a kick out of watching it.
Okay, let me kick over here to the cams. All right, we got 23. All right, we got more people. There's Lori. Hey.
How many I recorded?
Hey, Satnan.
1927.
Ooh, Satnan. Hello, Satnan. Nice to see you. So I got a bunch of stuff planned for today, but there's a few things that I hate to do it, but I'm gonna karaoke night. What the heck was that text message? I'm getting a bunch of spam text messages lately.
You got any idea? I don't want to do that.
Okay. Hi, right. Susan.
I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen.
Actually, that was on my WhatsApp. Don't tell me we're getting any.
Now, we'd love to sing. All of us up here love to sing music. And, if it makes you happy.
I think that was. I don't know who this is. I think that's. Oh, it's Banjo Paul. He's got another song for us, so I'll have to. We'll have to play that here in a second.
Wait a minute. They don't like us to stay on more than.
All right, couple more hellos. Well, who else we got here? We got Susan.
Janet. Hi, Janet.
Janet, hello, Janet. Lily, Janet, and Sue, and the others. We got 2 Susans
and
today.
the other Susan.
Awesome, man. We got a good beginning here. Oh. All right, well, let me pause this then for a little bit.
Rapid.
So, yeah, yesterday in last night's live watch, somebody had made this ask if I had the Having Fun with on stage with Elvis that was released in '74. It's all talking. All it is outtakes of conversations. It's actually a pretty cool album, but it was another one of those money grabs from Parker, but it worked, you know. So I took it and I the MP3 I have it is just the whole album all the way straight through. So I chopped it up in little sections so I could just play little sections at a time. And then the video we watched last night, Behind the Image, was so freaking irritating because they had this background music that was just overbearing over Kathy Westmoreland and John Wilkerson, and it was a really good conversation from them, but it was so irritating because you were concentrating, trying to drown out the music to understand what they were saying. So what I did is I did my little magic trick that I do with the acapellas, where I separate the vocals from the music, and I got rid of the music. And now you could just hear it. I just played a sample for Cam, and it came out really good. So we'll replay that, next on one of the next live one. It's only a 40-minute thing anyway, so we'll replay it on one of the next watch parties, or maybe it was a little bit longer than that. But at least you could concentrate on what was said, because Kathy has actually stirred up some interesting conversations too.
Yeah.
We kind of wandered off into the ether world. Anyways, it was fun. We always have fun with that.
Good, though.
So, anyways, Banjo Paul, is he? Did I just see him in the house?
Yeah, he's here.
Okay, so Banjo sent me another sample of one of his songs. So I am going to play it here. It's primitive as always, but a bit of fun, kiddo. Karaoke night. All righty, Mike. Fine. So I don't know if I can download this or if I just save the downloads. All right, it'll be easy. The media cannot be saved. Okay, well, thank you very much for telling me that. All right, so let me save as desktop save. Okay, well, it's saved there. Stupid ass. I'm gonna explain here in a little bit. I'm in a bit of a funky mood this morning. Really irritated. JPEG. Oh, it's just a JPEG. All right, tell me if you can hear this, Cam, when I start it. Usually, if I play, I think you can hear it from my laptop. You hear it?
Yeah, very faint.
It's very what?
Very faint.
Very faint. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Dylan.
All right, Alexa, turn on all the lights.
And hey to everyone else I haven't seen yet.
That better?
No, it's still very low.
Very low. All right, let me see how I can figure out how to get this. Save as. It's not save. It's saving it as a picture. I don't want it as a picture. Oh, what the hell, man! I have a hard time saving stuff from WhatsApp. It says save as, but it's saving it as a JPEG. I don't want it as a JPEG.
Just change the extension. Change the extension to .mp3.
Okay, well, I'll try it. Save as.
It might say that it won't work, but
it's not giving me the extension in it when I save it. That's the problem.
Oh, shite.
Yeah, that's kind of the word I'd say. But wait a minute. When I know what you're saying. Never mind. Hold on. Okay, let me do this. Do this. Sorry, guys. I want to play this for y'all. Okay, use MP3. Okay, let's see if we got it. Oh wow! I knew I kept you around for a reason, Cam. All right.
Okay, but you can hear it, but I can't.
I haven't played it yet.
Oh, okay.
Did you hear that?
No.
You're gonna hear it in a second.
Hi, Donna.
I'm uploading it. All right, guys. Who we got? Oh, we got Don. Dude, we got a very cool crowd today. Well, we always have a cool crowd, but all right. So, okay, guys, here we go. I got to make sure I adjust the volume good because it might come out loud. So give me a second when I start it.
Okay. Yeah. There we go.
This is Banjo Paul, guys. Wow.
The way that she kisses you now, and you know the way she touches your cheek.
Wow.
Well, I taught her how.
Look out, Sam Phillips.
Yeah.
Who taught her to cry when she was you under her spell. the sight of the tears drives you out of your mind.
This is Banjo Paul.
I taught her so well. And then one day I loved you. I was perfect as could be. She lived, she loved, she laughed, she cried.
I love the Jordanaires.
And that was all for me.
Ooh, Joseph Elvis.
We taught her to lie now that it's over and done. Oh, learn a lesson when she broke my heart. I was the one.
Welcome aboard, Joseph.
Yeah.
She lived, she loved, she laughed, she cried, and that was all for me. We taught her to lie now that it's over and done. Oh, learn a lesson when she broke my heart. I was the one.
Very cool. That's the best one yet. Good job, Banjo. I like
Not
it.
not a very easy song to do either.
No, especially great backup singers too. No, I like that. Now you're putting the fire underneath me to start doing some again.
Yeah,
So,
no, that was really good.
oh, well, I got a question. How many of y'all seen my video on my channel of me singing Muddy Waters? I wash my hands in muddy water. How many seen that?
I think I saw that a long time ago.
I play all 4 instruments and I split screen it, all 4.
Oh, I
Yeah.
gotta go check that out.
Yeah, I'm gonna. You know what? While we're doing this, I'm gonna just grab it real quick because I haven't played it in a while. We're gonna do a little of not American Idol. What's the other one? America's Got Talent. How about Elvis-A-Z Got Talent, man?
Okay.
Okay, so let me find this real quick. Go to my channel, Ricky. Ooh, why did my icon change? That's strange. Everything's changed on my channel. That's weird. Oh, there it is. It's back. Never mind. All right, so we got videos. Actually, you know what? It'd be easier for me to go to here to find it. Switch account to my personal one. And let's go. Go to the channel.
From all of us to Banjo Paul.
All right, well, I guess it's not in there, is it? What the hell did I do to it? Well, that sucks. Okay, well, I'm not having a good day. Well, the day hasn't started off great for me anyway, so let me do this. Go to view my channel, and I'm going to go to videos, and I'm going to go search for Muddy Waters. Oh, no. It's not there. Why is it not there? I can't believe it's gone. Why is it gone? All right, well, I guess I don't have it anymore. That sucks. Is it on Blue Moon Radio? I'm going to try one more thing. If not, then I just shit out of luck. I'm shit out of luck. All right, guys. Well, I'll do one more thing here, and that's it. Wash my hands. Oh, maybe that's what it's under. View my channel. Videos. Washed. There it is. All right, so here we go. Let me get to this. Let me pause this. All right, guys, I'm going to share this with you. Don't boo me too bad. But okay, so what I did is I played all 4 instruments. I played a bass, I played 2 guitars, and I played the percussion, which is basically just a tambourine. And let me see, let's go to here. And we're going to share this. Share. Not Sonny and share, just share. Stupid, huh?
I got you, babe.
I got you, babe. All right, let me see if I can get this to go more full. Yeah, it's a little bit better. All right, full. All right, guys. I hope you enjoy it. I hope I don't get kicked off.
I think my giblets just fell into your ice maker.
Yeah.
Well, I was born in Macon, Georgia. Met my daddy in the Macon jail. And he told me, if you keep your hands clean, oh, you won't hear them bloodhounds on the trail. I fell in.
Yeah, I got to laugh. I watch my head movements.
A rock man way up in Tennessee. They caught me.
I love the bass.
Way up in
Yeah.
Nashville. Well, they locked me up and they threw away the key. Well, I washed my hands in muddy water. I washed my hands, but they didn't come clean. I tried to do like my daddy told me. Well, I must have washed my hands in a muddy stream. I asked the jailer, I said, when's my time? He said, son, you know he won't forget. But if you try just to keep your hands clean, well, we might make a good man of you, yeah. But I couldn't wait to get my time in. And I broke out of the Nashville jail. I just crossed the state line of Georgia, and I can hear them old bloodhounds on my trail. Well, I washed my hands in muddy water. I washed my hands.
Yeah, I think that.
You're really getting into the bass line there.
Yeah.
Well, I must have washed my hands in a muddy stream. Oh, yes, I must have washed my hands in a muddy stream.
Well, I quite like that actually.
I had fun making that. I got to do more of them.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I just sitting here one day. I saw somebody else do it before, and I thought, you know what, I can do that. Why not? What the heck, you know? So now I got to figure out what song to do. But Thanks, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. I love music, man. We ought to try a collaboration, Banjo. We should try something together. Cam and I are going to do something together too. So we got to try to figure out how to. The problem is doing it with all the latency problems that we have. So anyway, so next week will be round 2 of American Idol. Of course, I don't think you both got the golden buzzer. Oh, hell. And look at Lori says. And I thought only Joe Esposito played tambourine. Oh, geez. All right. Yes, I appreciate that. Thanks for whoop whoop. Look at you. Now, thanks everybody. I enjoy doing that. I forgot I even had it online. It's been up there for a couple of years. All right. So, anyways, what I want to do, that kind of cheered me up a little bit because I actually almost canceled today's show, and I don't like doing this, but sometimes I just got to vent. You know, I've worked very hard in my life to weed out the slimy people, keep them out of my life, the ones who are sneaks, who are manipulators, and this has nothing to do with anybody that I've had a problem with in the past. Nobody. This is not related to that. But something's occurred the last couple of weeks that just has sent me into a tiz. And you know, when you have other Elvis channels that are with, you know, that are present themselves as a positive thing, you know, you love that, you work with them and all that, but some are manipulative, and there's been one that has been trying to manipulate my channel by being manipulative with the people that subscribe to me. I'm a believer that every one of you out there can watch all the other channels you want to watch. I don't care. I'm more power to you. But but I would never go to you and try to entice you from another channel ever. And that's been happening on my channel. And I'm not going to name names or nothing. I'm just telling you right now that I hope that this person is listening, because they've been very manipulative, and ever since the beginning of time that I found this person, I've always suspected it. I just don't trust this person. So that's all I want to say. I needed to vent it. And I don't appreciate the dishonesty and just the sliminess of being this way. You know, they present themselves as a great person or a great channel, and yet they will, because they see me doing well, they will try to manipulate the people watching me. And I don't like that. I think every one of you can watch all the other channels you want to watch. I'm more power to you. I welcome everybody to watch other channels. You know, that's not that kind of action is not within the Elvis realm of Elvis. It's not something. Elvis never would have manipulated anybody to not listen to another artist. In fact, he was very supportive of his peers, and I've always been supportive of all of other channels. So anyway, I need to get off my chest, because I'm not an idiot, and I've been treated like an idiot, like I have no clue. And I get calls I get texts and calls at 4:30 in the frickin' morning, because they want to know something that doesn't have to be known until the next day, but it's a purpose of this to be manipulative and try to get on my bad side. Well, it's not going to happen. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. Vent over. Let's do some Elvis stuff. We got some great people here. Donna, oh no, I wanted to hear you 2 minutes. Cam. Nobody on this site, nobody here today, none of my followers, none of my subscribers are within this realm. Nobody. There's not one of you that is within that I'm not speaking of you at all. I'm speaking of it's there's no subscribers whatsoever that I am speaking of. Period. I make that clear. I love my subscribers, and nobody do I suspect or has ever done anything negative towards me here on another channel or anything. So, CCAT, no, it's not. Anyways, I I've worked hard to build this channel up. I never expected it to be where it's at, and Cam and I we love what we do, and we're going to keep doing it. I was not in the frame of mind this morning to do the channel, but I decided I can't let you guys down, and so we got fun stuff. We got fun stuff to do. We got some book covers to do. Let's have a great discussion. And my rant was to get out there to the other person, and I know it will. And that's all I want to do, because I will not address anything one-on-one. I'm not going to put myself in that situation.
No, you're right, Susan. That's exactly what it is. But I can understand where Rick is coming from. It's like I said to him before we went live, because he talks to me about it, because I'm obviously as much a part of what he does as what he's a part of what I do. So we're a team on this channel. So we talk about things and we share our thoughts about certain things. And like I said, you're absolutely 100% right. But a person gets to the point where you start hearing the shit, I'm going to call it for what it is, behind the scenes, and you start reading about it and you start hearing about it, and you ignore it and you ignore it and you ignore it, because you think the people have some maturity and the people have some respect and the people have some morality and that kind of thing, only to find out later that they don't. When does a person get to the point where you say, okay, I'm done keeping quiet about this, and now I'm going to say my say? And that's why I say, Rick felt he needed to say something about it, and that's his prerogative. If it makes him feel better, then I support whatever he does, because I know he would do the same for me. But yeah, from my perspective too, if people want to be jealous about it, then go be jealous somewhere else. Don't think you're going to come here and try and do certain underhanded things in the hope that you're never going to get discovered, because unfortunately life has a way of working out. And if you do things and say things to, because you can't grant the next person 5 minutes in the sun, and you do it maliciously and with bad intent, as this person or people are trying to do, not saying that it's one person or people, I'm talking generally, then you're not going to come right. Then you must be prepared to sit on your ass.
Yeah, in response to you, Joseph, Elvis, I apologize. You're coming into a show, which I've never done this before. I never do this, but there comes a point where my back breaks, and I prefer just to vent. And if I vent straight on, it's going to turn into a hate fest, and I don't want that. I just want to vent my feeling about being manipulated, because I won't be that way. But right now, I'm going to end I want to end it, because I just want to get it off my chest, and we've gotten that off my chest. Once again, I assure you, there is nobody in this community of mine on this channel that's on not mine. I'd say that wrong. There's nobody within within this group or any group that watches my channel that is involved in this whatsoever. None of you do I believe, or do I even suspect of being manipulators at all. It's not a subscriber. I'm just going to put it out like that. So anyway, I've got we got some coverage on some books, some stuff I come across. Now, not everybody here was on our live stream last night, because we kind of had a little bit of a bust with the video. And like I said, I took out the background music, and we're going to replay that next week. And I got another one to add to it. So, it is so much clearer. You can actually hear Kathy Westmoreland speak and John Wilkerson speak without being interfered with the background music. So, but I've got a couple of things here. I like to show little things that kind of make you laugh, and sometimes it involves Priscilla, which we're doing some talking about. But I just want to share one little quick video that I think you guys will get a kick out of. But before I do that, for those of you who know Bill Morris, the sheriff from Memphis, he passed away yesterday. And so I just want to share some pictures and a little news report from the local news. It's here. So there it is.
Oh, hey, Brent.
Oh, Brent. Hey, buddy.
Glad you made it.
Yeah. So here's the news report, the obituary for Bill Morris. It's about a minute and a half.
Family of William Bill Morris has shared his obituary. The former sheriff and mayor of Shelby County died on Friday at the age of 92. The obituary reads in part, born on September 29, 1932 in Fulton, Mississippi, during the depths of the Great Depression, Bill rose from humble beginnings to become a defining figure in the modern history of Memphis and Shelby County. His legacy as a public servant spanned decades. From 1964 to 1970, he served as the youngest elected Shelby County sheriff, and from 1978 to 1994, he was elected 4 times as Shelby County mayor, the longest serving in the county's history. During Morris's time as sheriff from 1964 to 1970, Morris took Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s accused assassin, James Earl Ray, into custody after Ray was flown back to Shelby County from England. Morris's funeral will be held at noon on Saturday, August 2nd at First Evangelical Church on Ridge Lake Boulevard. Family of William Bill Morris.
Couple pictures. There's Elvis with this is at the JC's award tonight. Bill Morris went with him. He was in attendance. There's another picture right there. That's a great. I love that coat, man. Such a great picture. And of course, this one with the Memphis Mafia and Bill's over there on the left, right behind Billy Smith. I think that's Bill right there behind him. Yeah. And then here's at the awards, 1971. And then a little bit right here, I want to share. 2 days before their scheduled departure for California, in the evening of September 21st, Elvis was appointed deputy sheriff. Elvis was appointed deputy sheriff of Shelby County, a promotion over his previous title of honorary chief deputy by newly elected Sheriff Bill Morris. Okay, what I got to do? I get that back there. And page 2 says, he was fingerprinted for his official badge, and he reminisced with Morris, a fellow native of North Mississippi, whose wife Ann had been a classmate of Elvis's at Humes High, and I did not know that.
Wow.
So that Friday night, after postponing his scheduled midweek departure by more than 2 days, he went to the movies one more time, screening one of his favorite movies, Dr. Strangelove. So him and Bill Morris were really close. In fact, Sam Thompson worked for Bill Morris, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's sad. It seems like this year we've seen some of Elvis's close friends or part of the band. We've lost David Briggs the last year. God, who else, man? There's been a few of them that have passed away that go back to, there's been a few stars that he starred with, and it's hard to see him go because it's that you got that little piece of Elvis slowly slipping away,
Yeah.
And like I was saying the other day, as far as the people that were around when that were fans their time, that's getting smaller and smaller. The group of people that saw him in concert, that would remember it, that group gets smaller and smaller. And it's just, it's just, and with the passing of a good friend of mine, it just reminds me of our mortality. We're not immortal. Oh, Connie Francis, I don't know if she was a friend of Elvis, if they ever met, but what a beautiful woman. What a tragic life she had because of, she was brutally raped, and that hit her psychologically for the rest of her life. She was scared to death to do concerts, and But man, I remember my mom having one of her albums, and she's the one I think did Where the Boys Are. Oh man, what a voice that woman had. But yeah, it was sad to see her go. I mean, just Bill Morris was 92 years old, so he was only basically 1 year older than Elvis, because Elvis would be 91, so about a year and a half, 2 years older. So yeah, go ahead.
Not bad going. 92 years is a few miles on the clock, I'll tell you that much.
Let me catch up with the people that were around Elvis and fans of his are slowly going. Yeah, she was good. CAT watched in the studio this AM. It was great. Thanks, CAT. Yeah. Elvis and friends, Elvis Nation, please don't use my real name. Right, Banjo. Did you sing and play earlier? If so, I'll watch on replay. But yeah, he did. He played, or he did. I was the one. Good. He did a good. It was good too. Susan doing good, surviving the Illinois heat. Yeah. How's the heat getting better for you guys on the West Coast over in Arizona? I hope it's getting better. All right. So I just wanted to highlight those couple of important things there. Now let me get to this one video I wanted you to see, and then we'll get back to interview. Is this it?
Elvis Presley.
No. Oh, you guys got to hear this. This is hilarious. Let's see. I'm behind child book and one more. Oh, we got. Okay.
Go again, man.
So she does an interview. Oh, sorry. So Priscilla did an interview with this one. I can't think of his name right now, but he's a popular talk show host, and Jonathan Ross, maybe it was. So she's out there doing an interview, and I'm only going to play the very beginning because I think it's hilarious the way she comes out and the music that they play. Now they play an Elvis song, but you're gonna laugh at this group that's singing this. If this is this guy's house band, I pity the poor guy. Let me pause this.
Shall we get our first guest?
Oh, come on, man!
Why don't we? I am delighted she's.
I'll start it again. So I want you all to be able to see this. Okay, here you go. There's the house band.
Shall we get our first guest out, ladies and gentlemen? Why don't we? I am delighted she's on the programme. She is Priscilla Presley.
Watch this band.
Oh my God. Are those guys deaf? No disrespect to your brother, but hell,
Kirsty Marie. Oh no.
they tone deaf.
Yeah, I know it's old. I just come across it. I mean, it's obviously old. Look at, you can sell Priscilla's. I think it's pretty much pre butchering, for lack of a better term.
I'm surprised that piano player was playing in key because those other guys are tone deaf. That's not even off key. They solidly tone deaf. They can't hear music.
Yeah.
I don't
All
profess to say that I know it all, but oh my God, I'm not going to tell you you're a good singer if you're not.
So, let me see.
Elvis Presley.
Okay, so this interview was held, I think it was in 1971, and Elvis attends the local college football game. You got to listen to what this stupid report. I don't know where they come up with the reporters back in those days, but you got to listen to what this guy asks Elvis. It's only like about a 45-second interview, but he stops to talk to Elvis.
Elvis Presley, last time we talked to you, the Hornets were able to get a touchdown, but now I see you're up here rooting for these Memphis Southmen. You might bring them back. Well, I was rooting for the South then, but the Hornets are really playing a great game, though.
They're really a good ball club, Elvis.
Yeah.
How often do you get a chance to get out and see? I know you're awfully busy.
Well, I come here every time they play here in town.
Listen, if I tell you I like your car, will you buy me a Cadillac? Come on, I'm going to like your car. You're going to buy me a Cadillac.
That wasn't me. It was another guy.
What a prick of a reporter.
What a cheek.
I'm sorry, but you would think after a while, it's just like that guy yesterday when I was playing. I couldn't even play the whole thing; it was so irritating. The one that was interviewing Parker and started asking, Parker handled it. I tell you what, he was calm and collective. I give him credit, and that was in '56. Yeah, Elvis. Yeah, he was a big fan of that local team. Yeah, you're right. What a jerk. If I told you I liked your car, would you? If I told you I liked your wife, would you?
Yeah.
That's what Elvis should have said to him. Stupid. So anyway, it's such idiots out there. Let's see what else I got here real quick. I got that. I'm going to cover some things that we've talked about. Don't forget about our radio station, Blue Moon Radio, Live 365, Elvis 24/7. So get the app for Live 365 and it's Elvis music 24/7, no ads, period. Nothing's repeated. It's got every song he recorded in the studio on there, all the movie songs, everything. Plays 24/7, and then we're going to start doing some live broadcasts from there. We're going to have a Midnight Madness where we're going to just shoot the shit and play some songs and do some requests and just have some fun when Cam and I can finally figure out the time that we can do it. There's
From Elvis-A to Z, it's Midnight Madness on Blue Moon Radio. Come as you are.
Yeah, so that's our advertisement we're going to have for that. So it's going to be exciting. We've been picking up a lot of listeners on it, so it's nice to see it start to grow. And like I said, anybody got any requests? They want to hear anything? I'm going to play some. I'm going to start doing some FTD sound albums on there because it's all copyright free because I pay for the service, so it goes to the copyright licenses. So I can play any Elvis album, anything out there. And I'm going to do interviews. There's going to be special series that were put on like the radio, and then I'm going to start broadcasting on Discord. We're going to start doing some kind of watch parties there. Time factor, we're going to figure this out eventually. As soon as I get more familiar with Discord, we're going to start doing some live parties, watch parties on there too, to watch movies and of Elvis that we can't play on YouTube without getting hit with a copyright strike. And I'm gonna cover the movies that were made about Elvis, like Kurt Russell's Elvis, that lousy piece of crap that Jonathan Ray's did. We're gonna play that because I know a lot of people like it, and it's parts of it are entertaining, but I didn't like him as Elvis. And we could play the Elvis movie, the outtakes from there. I've got the movies that were made about, with the Elvis as a theme. Like Elvis and the Beauty Queen with Don Johnson as Elvis. Woohoo! The TV series that they put out there, 1990. We're going to play that, so I could play anything that you can't do on YouTube without getting hit. Dylan says apparently I'm number 15 in the top fans ranking. Looks like I need to do more of a. Oh, you're talking. I don't understand those crowns. I don't know. I get into a chat. All of a sudden, I'm number one. I've only made one comment, so I don't understand what that even means because I'm definitely not number one. Yeah, Kirsty, I did a test and it seemed to go all right, but I think I need a little more practice. So when I do it, I'm going to let you know. We'll coordinate a time when I do it because I would really appreciate that to work it out because. Like I said, I've got the whole 13 episode series with Michael St. Gerard from 1990, and where Millie Perkins, who started with him in Wild in the Country, plays his mother. I've got the whole series. The only thing that exists, that thing was never released on DVD, and the only thing that was out there, they do have it on YouTube, but they've only got, I don't know if they have all the episodes, but it'd be kind of cool to have a party with that. Then I got the one with that they did about Sun Records, where Drake Mulligan, the guy who was on America's Got Talent, everybody calls as the next Elvis Presley. He plays Elvis in it, so it's it's cool. I've got so much stuff out there that we can't watch together because of the copyright. Well, on Discord, it's a private network, so we can watch whatever we want. So that'll be cool. And then I can share. I could pop up. I got the Nitro version, so I'm able to put up to 500 megabytes of videos on there too to play. So whatever I have, sometimes I'm going to start posting some of those. So anyway, Elvis needs to create a multi-season show about Elvis with each season covered. Wouldn't that be nice? If they can get a good director that would hold true to facts as much as possible. I realize that there's creative licensing with these things, and sometimes there's never going to be the perfect true to the facts, a story or series or anything about Elvis. I don't see it ever happening. But
No, his life was so complex. It's like, what do you focus on when you're a filmmaker?
well, you have to do a lot of filler too, because you don't know
Yeah.
what happened and what was actually said, and so you just kind of go. You got to go by knowing who Elvis was, and you can kind of assume. But I could deal with that. The stuff that I can't deal with is having an actor that you know. Yeah, I know a lot of people like some of these series, so I don't want to. It's to each his own. This is just my humble opinion because there's things that I really like that people don't like. Anyway. So there's been if they get a good actor in there, that could portray Elvis true without being. I mean, someone that did as good of a job, in my opinion, that Austin Butler did as Elvis. I thought Kurt Russell did a great job. The only thing I didn't like about Kurt's role was I think he overplayed and overacted the performance scenes. And it was more spastic. Jonathan Rhys looked like Pee Wee Herman doing Elvis, when he would dance and do the movements, and then but other than that, it's a dream. I think, Brent. I don't think it'll happen in our lifetime. By the time they get the production done, but anyway, I'm excited about the Baz Luhrmann, about the Epic. I think what's really cool, one of the first things I thought of when Cam and I went live to see what it was all about, when it was going to be. I thought the cool thing was about it being in September is the thunder it's going to take away from Priscilla when she releases her book.
Mm-hmm. So guess who gets the last laugh?
Yeah. So, and once again, I'm still going to do the review of that book. I'm currently it started Child Bride, and I'm going to review a little bit what I showed last night. It's just a real snippet of, I put it off. And of course, when I read the first couple, the forward and all that, I'm just like, okay, I'm hooked. I got to read this book. And then I'm going to read. Yeah, I know you I hate it when he says I told you, because he did. He told me. And I'm going to reread Elvis and Me, and then I'm going to reread it the week before her book comes out so I can do a comparison. Because, I mean, who out there doesn't believe that this is just a response to, in some form or fashion, to Lisa's book or her claims? Because I guess supposedly she announced that she was going to write this book when it was announced about Lisa's book. So it was before the book came out, but I think she knew the book was coming out. I don't know. I've heard different things. I believe that's right. I think that's correct, is that she announced it when she found out about the book, and she knows. She knows that. But I believe everything that Lisa Marie and all that have in that book. But I'm very curious, and that's why I've been showing these clips of Priscilla, of the different interviews where she's got. How many different stories do we have of where Lisa was at that day? She was at camp, the one we saw the other day.
I think we counted 5 the other day.
Yeah, she was at camp, and Priscilla had a cell phone back in 1977 that didn't exist at the time. When she pulled over the side of the road, she was able to hear the phone ringing when she drove in the driveway. That's pretty cool. And then the other time was she was at home, and she had to explain. That was on Pierce Morgan when she had to go tell Lisa that her father died and explain to her what death is. A 9-year-old girl knows what death is because how many times did Lisa used to say to her dad, "Please don't die, Daddy," you know. Donna Queen, no doubt. Hollywood snubbed him. Hollywood kind of snubbed Kurt too because he was nominated for an Emmy, and Jonathan Rhys was nominated for an Emmy for his role, but he didn't. Yeah, I'm glad he didn't get it. I hope Boz don't invite Priscilla to the premiere. I don't think he would. I hope not either. I hope he doesn't feel like that. You know, I can understand the movie because she was part of the movie as far as her character, but with the concert, she has nothing to do with that. She, that's not. What are they going to do? Stick her in the middle of the audience? But from my understanding, she's not even invited to come to Elvis Week, which thank God she's not. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but that's.
You know what I'm actually hoping?
What's that?
I'm hoping she somehow gate crashes the function and sits there, right? Just to see that pie that she's hoping to get a piece of explode in her face.
I think if she does that, she's going to get a. There's such a divide. I can't believe the divide with her, the true loyalists to her and then the true haters. It doesn't seem like, for the longest time, I was on the middle of the fence up until the last few months when I read, it all changed when I read Lisa's book. That's when it all changed for me, because before it was just like, I never liked her. I never thought she should be. I still don't think she should be buried there, but it's not my business. I don't own the place, but I don't think she should be buried there. Who gets buried next to their ex-husband other than somebody who wants some, thinks that she's. I don't know. Anyway, I didn't want to get off on a discussion about her, but it's just. It's really aggravating, but the thing is one thing I don't want ever to happen with my channel is to get into this position where we start saying that we should go after her and say you need to stop doing this and that. I'm not going to do that. It's not my position to tell people what to do or what books to read or anything like that. All I do is share my opinion and what I feel and what I've uncovered and what I think is the truth, and we have awesome freaking discussions on this channel about it too. We start off with one topic and the next thing you know, we've gone through three generations of his family.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I thought that was kind of interesting. This all started with me showing that interview with Jonathan Ross. So here, real quick, I want to share this with you. This is just what caught my attention about the book. So this is the author's note from Child's Bride. When Presley died, she was mentioned in passing in the Elvis biographies, often the first sections to which readers would turn, eager for more information about the King's mystery child bride. Of all the fascination surrounding Elvis, his bizarre courtship of 14-year-old Priscilla Beaulieu held the greatest intrigue. What was the real reason? I've said this how many times? What was the real reason the parents of a 9th grade girl permitted their daughter to date, then live with a rock star? And it's interesting in this Jonathan Ross interview, and I don't want to play the whole thing because I know what happens when we do, but he brings that up. And she talks about, she defends her parents by saying, well, yeah, after a few times they got Vernon involved and they came, they go in. I still would not let her go over there.
No.
The guy's a rock star, back in that day, they didn't know what Elvis was really like. And you think his father's going to come over and say, well, yeah, my son's a real debauched, person. He's not going to say that. But, if it was my 14-year-old daughter and she was, I wouldn't let her go see any rock star these days, but if there's not really any young rock stars anymore, are there? What there's older ones. Who would you consider a rock star these days? I mean, true rock and roll. I don't know. Anyways, I'm digressing.
Outside of ACDC, maybe Robert Plant.
Well, I'm thinking I'm thinking about of a generation like Elvis, like a new rock star, not aging, not the
Oh,
older band. I'm thinking
no.
about you've got the
Of
country.
today's caliber?
I think it'd be more along the line of country rock people. I'm not. But then you got your rappers, you got your hip hop, and all that. Anyways, that age of somebody in the music industry, there's no way I would let my 14-year-old daughter go have this guy's father come over and get my daughter. Okay, I'm cool with it. Go on, hang around with this 25-year-old rock star. Oh, what's his name? P. Diddy. Oh yeah, go ahead. She give me a break. What was the real reason the parents of a ninth grade girl permitted their daughter to date, then live with a rock star? Yeah, that's the other thing. Didn't she let her go to live with him? What spell did Priscilla cast over Elvis that drew him to her and kept him attached? Anyways, that's the part that attracted me to this book. I got to read it, and that's. I just wanted to share that. Spa guy invited Ginger Ginger. Spa guy, I hate that guy. He's got some great stuff. He does some great videos, but he's a just outright piece of crap himself. But he's got some good stuff. I think he's just a.
He's so full of himself.
He's a snake. He's a snake in the grass, but he comes up with some good videos. He really does. Anyway, so all right, so that I've covered this child now. 73 deal. Oh, all right. So now we're going to get to a little bit of the book here. And this one is out of Careless Love. And I've jumped ahead a little bit because we can beat a dead horse on the movies. We know what, so we could go over every movie and that gets a little monotonous. We know he made money off of them, how much they made and all that. So I'm kind of jumping ahead. I'm jumping to, Cam's going to love this one. I'm jumping ahead to the spiritual advisor, Mr. Larry Geller. And then I'm going to go into a little discussion we had yesterday, and I researched it, and I found out what the answer was about the 1967 deal. And then I think I also go into the 73 deal with this one too. So this is Careless Love being carried on, the book that we've been discussing for what's that noise?
It's me.
Oh, I didn't know if it was coming from my. I sounded like Bailey was chewing on something down here. So we had a discussion yesterday about the 67 agreement where they made an amendment, and so I got the details and to find out. So we're gonna discuss that now. So I call this file Larry.
Spiritual awakenings. Do I need to bolt my feet to the floor?
But you need to lay your hands on the computer.
Okay.
Be the last one to touch Elvis's forehead before they close the casket. And he got to speak in a voice like this. My name is Larry Geller. Now, this really, I highlighted certain stuff in here, but is this okay? I gotta go back here for a second. 1 second.
From Elvis-A-Z, it's Midnight Madness on Blue.
Okay, shut up, Rick. All right, so I gotta move Larry up so my thing will work there. That didn't sound right, did it? All right, so Colonel Parker, Elvis, Larry Geller, what a trio on the set of Spin Out, courtesy of the state of Elvis Presley and Larry Geller. All right, so revelation came. 24 years old, a 24-year-old hairdresser named Larry Geller, who arrived on Elvis's doorstep at 4 p.m. on the afternoon of April 30th. This is the divine meeting. Elvis's regular hairstylist, Sal Orifice, what a name.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. we get into.
I got a bad mind, I tell you.
No, it's just. I'm sorry. Some of the things we come in here, we just we can't digress today. We're gonna leave this. We're gonna leave this orifice alone. You know what? That's a good point, Dan. For you, I'm surprised Larry doesn't want to.
This crazy. Yesterday we were talking about fruits, and today we're talking about orifices.
Purple Green take me today. She said, put a comment on Discord. Thank you for the conversation about cherries yesterday. Good. Keep it clean. All right. So his hairdresser had quit by J.C. Brings, very popular hairdresser in Hollywood, a fashionable salon, but told his client that Geller, a colleague for the last 5 years, would make a suitable replacement. Larry, who was working on their friend singer Johnny Rivers' hair, when Alan Fortas called, jumped at the chance. He was met at the Bel Air gates by Jimmy Kingsley and guided back to the house on Perugia. I bet Larry would jump at the opportunity to do Elvis's hair. What hairdresser wouldn't? There he was shown into the den where he met Elvis, who was wearing a motorcycle cap perched on a jaunty angle on his head, and who stuck out his hand and introduced himself, as if Larry would have no idea who he was. Why didn't they go back into the bathroom, Elvis suggested, where Larry could work undisturbed and they could talk a bit. And here he goes. Yeah, you're right, Susan. He did. He loved, whatever I think of Larry afterwards with his stories, there was something that gave Elvis that spiritual. And I'm not going to take anything away from what Larry did, for Elvis in the spiritual realm of things. Very knowledgeable, on that aspect.
He provided Elvis with some sort of compass.
That's it. Yeah, and I give him all the credit in the world.
I give him credit for that.
The only thing I just have a tough time with is this. Sometimes his stories kind of
his embellishments,
embellish it quite a bit. But anyways, it is what it is. He's not the only one that does that, right?
No.
Okay, so Elvis heard a lot of good things about Larry from South. He told the young hairstylist, he explained that he had just finished shooting his new movie and was going to the studio the next day for publicity stills. So they couldn't do much older than maintain his present appearance. Other than what he needed was a light trim and a little tinting just to match the way he looked in the picture. Larry was impressed with his courtesy, his thoughtfulness, his common touch, and he was not sure what lay behind his manner. Then, just as Larry had finished spraying and shaping his hair, Elvis suddenly turned to him and said, "Larry, let me ask you something. What are you into?" They talked about how 5 years before he had begun to wonder about life. Why is there a purpose to all this? Or are the materialists and atheists right? And what was my purpose? And that's a question a lot of us ask ourselves. Donna, for sure, she would not have gone there when she was only 16 to visit. That's nuts. Banjo Paul says, I emailed Larry years ago. Have I mentioned the swine still hasn't replied? How rude. So Elvis looked as if he had been slapped. As he shook his head from side to side, he said, whoa, man, Larry, I don't believe it. I mean, what you're talking about is what I secretly think about all the time. I've always known that there had to be purpose for my life. I've always felt an unseen hand behind me, guiding my life. I mean, there has to be a purpose. There's got to be a reason. Why was I chosen to be Elvis Presley? He asked that a lot, didn't he? And he also said, who was it he said? He says, I'm tired of being Elvis Presley. He said that to a few people. Who was the one that brought that up? Was it Jerry? For the next 4 hours, he was like a parched man in the desert. He bared his entire soul. He told Larry about his mother. He told him about the hollowness of his Hollywood life. He told Larry all the things he secretly thought and could share with no one around him. So, man, Larry, he said, I swear to God, no one knows how lonely I get and how empty I really feel. With that, he burst into tears. Larry was initially taken aback. He wondered if Elvis did this with everyone he met. If this was some kind of game, but then as Elvis kept talking, exposing his innermost, and so basically we're getting to the point where this is where they make the spiritual connection. Nice thought, KM, but okay, I got to get back to the other comments because I don't see all the comments. So over the course of the next month, Larry would arrive in his battered Volkswagen nearly every night, and they would consume the evening in extended bouts of philosophical discussion. We're going to get that. Weren't they? That it excluded everyone else, not just intellectually, but physically as well. Quickly, the whole tone of life at Perugia changed, and a grumbling mentality took hold among most of the guys. Why weren't they heading home for Memphis? They complained. They had a month between pictures. If there wasn't time to go home, why didn't they just take off for Vegas and have some fun? Why don't they just go themselves? See, that I mean, maybe Elvis didn't want him to go, but these guys are grown men. I mean, can't they make a decision? Hey, I'm going to go home. Elvis, do you mind if I go? Why not ask them? Why say, listen, instead of saying, why aren't we all going? Get a freaking plane and go. You know why? Because they wanted Elvis to have to pay for it. They didn't want to have to.
Yeah, I'm with 𝐶 on that one. She took the words out of my mouth. I think the thing with Larry was Larry provided something outside of the monotony of being Elvis at the time. I think Elvis needed that. Larry was like a breath of fresh air. He was outside of the craziness, outside of the I have to live up to a certain something. Otherwise, these guys don't get me. Otherwise, these guys become bored. Otherwise, I'm bored. Otherwise, we all know that Elvis was a very intellectual person.
Yeah.
And, if you don't get intellectual stimulation from the people around you on a constant basis, it's very easy to fall into that trap of depression and that trap of what the hell am I actually doing here, because I can't soundboard against anyone because they don't get me. And I think in Larry's case, he was a soundboard outside of the crazy Elvis world.
Well, when you hear Larry talk, even today, you can appreciate that softness that he had in his voice that Elvis could be attracted to. There was no harshness in his voice, and people like that. I've known people like that before. It was never something that was attractive to me as far as being I wanted to have deep conversations with, but I can understand because I would sit there for a while and be talking to somebody that was like that. All of a sudden I realized I'm almost caught up in their world. And and that's not a bad thing, but it's just not something that I really wanted to do or had the time to do. And I've never really been one that really bared my soul to people like that. I probably bare my soul more now than I ever did in my life because I was always guarded and just, a very private person. And I'm more public now about my life than I ever have been. But I'm 67 years old. What's it gonna get me anyways? Either way, negative or positive. But I can understand this, and even though I kind of mock Larry with the stories about if we don't get this man on the stage or him touching Elvis for the last time, it's his whole dramatics about it. It's still the relationship. I can't find anything negative about his relationship with Elvis when Elvis was alive.
No,
I don't find anything negative about it at all. And I really don't. I've got his book, but I haven't read it yet. Anybody here read the book? Let me know what you think if you've read his book. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but I've got it sitting over there, freaking somewhere.
Maybe the other thing is too that I don't know. This is just an assumption on my part.
If I Can Dream, that's the name of the book.
Maybe Elvis felt that Larry didn't get caught up in the whole Elvis world. Elvis kind of felt that he could talk to Larry about stuff without.
Yeah, he wasn't really, even though he was around them. He wasn't really a Memphis Mafia guy.
No.
Susan says it was really good. Yeah, I'll have to. I'll have to squeeze that in one night. Books, my list of books I got going. Thanks, Susan. Yeah, I've got it. A few years back, a library went out of business. It's been a few years back, been a lot of years back. And so I went down there. They had a sale to all the books for 10 cents each, and I went in there and bought every Elvis book they had left, and that was one of them. I got Billy Smith's Elvis's Man Friday and a few others, really some Elvis and Gladys, and I got them for a dime each. It was pretty cool. I think I spent $5 and had to back my truck up to bring the books home.
Wow.
But yeah, I do want to read it. But I've never really known much about Larry other than that he was a spiritual advisor, and I used to almost call him a guru, and I guess that that's a name that people would call him. All I know too is that the Memphis Mafia didn't really like him very much.
But I think that was more a case of they didn't like him because, all due respect to them, because what's his name said it the closest. They didn't understand him. They were ignorant to the kind
They didn't
of
want to
person.
understand him.
No, and they weren't open. They weren't open. Excuse me, to try and understand him.
No, because in their eyes, I think Elvis was showing him more attention than he was showing to them, and that was, I think, we get down to the typical normal jealousy factor, because here, look at what we just read. They were like, "Why aren't we going home? We're still here. Why aren't we home? Let's go home. What's this guy doing? He's keeping us here. What I could hear Joe. I could hear, and that's what I was saying. Go. I mean, if they want to go home, it seemed like they were so freaking helpless. They talk about Elvis and his, dependencies and all this, how he needed everything, but they were the biggest babies of all.
Yeah.
It was almost like they needed to ask Elvis if they could go use the restroom or something. Yeah, can I go? Oh, it's like crazy, man.
I mean, right. Elvis would have been capable by himself to get back home. I mean, hell, he went to go see the president of the United States all by himself.
Yeah. They had a month between pictures. If there wasn't time to go home, why didn't they take? Okay, so I got to that point. So Joe Esposito, whose primary concern was to make sure that things ran smoothly, was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt initially. I liked Larry at first. He was, of course he did. He was a nice, good-looking guy, very polite, but strange. To me, it was almost like he was brainwashing Elvis. And he'd get him into that bathroom and cut and dye his hair, and they talked for hours at a time. They just didn't understand that. And I don't think they really ever understood the deepness of Elvis. And Elvis said that. He never felt, I don't think he ever felt he could speak the way he did with Larry to any of the guys.
Yeah, nobody caught him. Nobody understood him as a person. Everyone understood him, the image, but nobody caught him as a person.
Yeah, mine is too, Susan. I'm kind of concerned about how he is these days, being so involved with Priscilla. But I find nothing. I don't know. I know some people do. I've always felt Jerry was one of the most loyal to Elvis while he was alive, for sure, and afterwards. Though, I got to reread his book because in some of our discussions, it's been said that he does bring up some negative stuff about Elvis, and I got to reread it. It's been so freaking long. And at my age, I forget. I read a book, and I got to reread it a week later sometimes. The guys wanted to be in the bathroom with Elvis. But you know what? I guess Elvis probably felt that was the most private place for him to talk. Mm-hmm. So as Joe is concerned, Elvis was easy pickings for a self-styled guru like Larry. His passive personality played right into Larry's hands. he was always gullible when it came to those things. He was I don't think I'd ever call Elvis gullible.
No.
I think he had a open mind. I mean, you think about it. You know, when you go, for those of you who've been to Graceland, I don't know if they still have this there, but in one of the displays where they got the books, he's got books from every type of religion, every type of teaching, you know, everything. He was in what do they call him, the searcher. He was in search of the truth. He was in search of who, you know. I cannot, as many times I try to get into his head and try to understand what he was thinking at certain times, I can never put myself in the situation of knowing what he felt like to be the most photographed, the best, the most known person probably on the face of the earth. And the attraction that people had, all he was just some country boy came out and started singing songs, you know. He said, he graduated with a C average grade, and he just, he was but he was to me, he was a genius. It may not have been book smart as far as, certain subjects, but the guy, I shouldn't say book smart, but, I think he was a genius, especially when it came to music.
He was street smart because he had the ability to read people beyond the average Joe.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's a good point, Susan. Yeah, I'm sure his bathroom wasn't just like, in a hotel bathroom or something like that. He had a lounge. It was a seating area, and he obviously had a hair. He had a hair washing sink to be able to wash his hair. So, because Billy would wash his hair all the time, and so they had to have some kind of sink like that made up, because you just couldn't do it. Just sitting in a chair and throwing water over his head, or get in the shower. I'm sure Billy didn't get in the freaking shower with him. So.
No, it's a really shitty place to be when you go through life and you look at people and you have all these people around you, people that are supposed to care about you as a person, only to get to a certain point where you look at yourself in the proverbial mirror and go, bloody hell, these people don't even understand who the hell I am. It's like,
if you can name one person on Elvis's life, who would be the one person that you think he trusted the most outside? And I don't even know if this would be the answer, but you can't say his father, because I don't think he really 100% trusted his father. Not after Dee Wallace.
Dee Stanley.
Yeah, Dee Wallace was an actress. Dee Stanley, yeah. I mean, what one person do you think he trusted the most? And I'll give you my answer.
Honestly, I don't think there was anybody that he trusted without reservation, some form of reservation.
I bet you change your mind when I tell you who I think.
Okay.
J.D. Sumner.
I didn't think of J.D. I thought you meant like immediate.
Yeah, anybody in his life, no matter what period of life. You can't count his parents. That's the only thing that I took. I didn't say his mother. Of anybody,
no, I think you're right.
I think J.D. is the one that he trusted the most. I think second to me would be Charlie Hodge. But Charlie Hodge still has, he was still part of the mafia. So did he feel like Charlie was there because of who he was, or was Charlie there because he cared, loved Elvis? Well, I know Charlie loved Elvis. I know that he cared about him and everything, but I think of anybody, that's the only name I come up with, JD.
I think to illustrate your point even more, JD probably was the only one that no matter what, he would never have sold out when it came to Elvis. And every other person in the group, at some point, they would have or did sell out.
Yeah, I think he really trusted Jerry a lot too. But I think I don't find anything where I've never read or seen anything where Elvis had a problem with Jerry. So I agree with you on that. I think he trusted Jerry, but at the top of the list to me, to Elvis, they had that spiritual connection too, him and
JD,
JD.
100%.
And
Yeah.
I think he could talk to JD just as well as he could talk to Larry. The only problem was JD wasn't as always accessible like Larry was. So, but JD, I never seen JD so furious about things said about Elvis as he was on that Geraldo Rivera show with D. Stanley. Boy, did he! Oh, he went totally off on that woman. With her spreading those rumors.
And outside of Billy, too, JD was the only person that knew Elvis from
Yeah,
basically the get-go.
I made the mistake of not saying not saying nobody related to him. As I should have said that, because you're going to have a good trust factor with somebody that's your blood relative. So, but yeah, I agree. But it's I don't know.
And Margaret is another one.
Yeah. Wow, I opened up a can of worms here because I would have never even thought of Anne Margaret.
Because she's never sold out. I mean, they've offered her shitloads of money.
Oh, that's saying it calmly, Deb. Dee's not a good person.
That's a compliment.
I can guarantee you that if her sons, whoever is still living, want to speak to her, they have to look down and not up. And I don't believe in a burning hell, but if there is, that woman's there.
She mans the door.
Crazy. The other guys almost universally agreed. Some of them started referring to Larry as the Swami or Rasputh or the brain scrambler. And see, that's just, and see, that goes back to my comment about them just being childish. Well, can we go home now? I want to go home. I can just picture them all standing around. I want to go home now. Can we go to Vegas? We've been here a month now. The movie's been over a month. I want to go. I can picture that. Maybe not in a whiny voice like that, but I'm sure it sounded whiny to Elvis.
Yeah.
Dude, you want to go home? Go home.
Yeah.
I'm not holding you here. You're not prisoners. You guys choose to be here. You're the ones that Oh my God, I get mad about that whole deal more and more. Every time we do these things, I go off on a. Now I got another group that I get to not dislike even more.
I'll be right back. Give me 2 minutes. I need to take care of something quickly.
Okay, cool. Larry was amazed not only at Elvis's desire for knowledge, but at his aptitude for it. Yeah, that just goes along the line of him, how intelligent he was. For someone who had never been exposed to any sort of formal study before, he seized upon the reading. He must have just did concerts, slept, ate, and read. And I'm sure he always walked off the plane with a book in his hand. So, he read on the planes when he had the chance or slept. But he was a voracious reader because I know that in one of the gates of Graceland where Angie Marchese opened up a box of books that Elvis had, and there's a wide variety of different books from different religions covering different themes, and he read them because they were marked up. He would write notes in the sides of them. D was the perfect, yeah. But they were jealous, but look how spoiled they probably all became. Yeah. And Elvis is just as much to blame for spoiling them because he and it was a good fault for the way he treated people. Sometimes how well he treated people would be almost to a fault, because people just listen to that reporter we listened to a little bit ago. It says, if I told you I like your car, would you buy me one? He spoiled fans, and I'm sure people tried to take advantage of that. See him pull it into a dealership. How many people would make a U-turn and go back, say, I take it. What a bunch of slime balls. Banjo, yes, she was a pirate in a previous life. You just look at her in that interview. You could tell as soon as JD went off on her, you could tell she was busted. You could tell the look at her face that she had no defense to the claims. Well, Vernon told me, and Vernon would have never. I don't believe for a minute, unless she got him totally drunk, or I don't believe for a minute Vernon would have ever said anything like what she was spreading around. And I don't even want to repeat what I think most of you know what she spread out there. But then supposedly later in life she recanted it. His character in Wild in the Country with the books reminded me so much of Elvis. Glenn Tyler had that. Yeah. I think that's why he did such a good role in that, because he could relate to that role. Hold on a second. I keep bumping my microphone there. But all right, let's see, where am I at here? So now we're going to jump ahead a little bit. We're going to go to the time. I don't know how many of you out there have heard the story about the song Memphis. And Johnny Rivers. Johnny Rivers did a live version of it from 𝐤𝐸-A-Z and released it, and became a hit. Now, how the timing of that is really interesting. Early in the summer, Johnny Rivers' version of Memphis hit the charts, and it took everybody by surprise, because Johnny had been a frequent visitor at the house over the last 3 years. He had played football with him, been accepted at one of the game, and even jammed with Elvis on the Chuck Berry number, after Elvis played him a test pressing of his own recording of the song. And there was no question among any of the guys that Johnny had known Elvis was planning to put it out on as his next single. Elvis should have just released his version now and killed the little. Okay. If y'all can see, I'm not going to say the word. It's not a word I want to use on this channel. They all muttered angrily among themselves, but Elvis would not. He just shook his head and sorrowfully and said he didn't want to see Johnny anymore. And if you listen to the live version of Memphis by Johnny Rivers, it's very, very similar to the recorded one that Elvis did. And that's one of the reasons why Elvis went back and did a retake of it. And he changed it up a little bit. But I'm a big fan of Johnny Rivers. I remember I was 7 or 8 years old. My mom buying those the live from 𝐤𝐸-A-Z. In fact, I still have one of the original ones she bought. And I saw Johnny Rivers at Knott's Berry Farm. Used to have this theater there called the John Wayne Theater, and we went to the grand opening and got to meet John Wayne. It was pretty cool, of the theater. But it was free concerts. If when you bought a ticket to Knott's Berry Farm. And for those of you who don't know, Knott's Berry Farm is an amusement park set around the old West, and that's why John Wayne was related to the theme. So, anyways, I used to go there just to see the concerts, and saw Johnny Rivers there. I was there the night the Everly Brothers broke up at the theater. That's the theater they broke up at. I saw. There were several other people I saw there. Great shows. There's just, with some of the classic 50s, 60s bands, and this was in the 70s when we were watching them. And Johnny Rivers gave a great show. Ricky Nelson, saw him there 2 or 3 times. And it was a really cool place. And I loved Johnny Rivers. He's still around playing. But what a slime. Hang around Elvis for 3 days and 3 years, and then snatch up what he knows Elvis is getting ready to do that. Now, supposedly Johnny Rivers claims that his agent was the one that did that. But you know what? Why doesn't Johnny Rivers say, hey, I'm not going to do that? How did the agent hear it? Anyway, I digress once again, like I always do. All right, so where are we at? I'm going to jump ahead a little bit because okay.
Agreed, 𝐶𝐞𝐞.
Hmm.
𝐶𝐞𝐞. She says goes back to earlier discussion. Manipulative people, people
Yep.
with ulterior motives.
Yeah, it's a great. Johnny Rivers did some great versions of songs. Memphis, he did. Of course, he did Secret Agent Man, a theme from a secret agent show. Um, Mountain of Love. Well, Baby, I Need Your Lovin'. A lot of covers, but he did. What was that one? Poor Side of Town. I used to play all those songs. Okay, so now we're bumping back to Larry here a little bit. Larry had come upon one big surprise already. A sometime recreational drug user, Larry had never taken pills of any kind or up to this point seen any evidence of Elvis taking pills. Just outside of San Bernardino, though, Elvis offered him a couple of Dexedrine tablets with the explanation that they were going to be driving through the night. Now, back then, Dexedrine was really just I think it was over the counter, wasn't it?
It was
Thank you, Den, for you. Yeah.
it was taken for weight loss.
2 days. Yeah, it was kind of a speed, wasn't it? Yeah. 2 days before their scheduled departure for California, on the evening of September 21st, Elvis was appointed deputy. I already read that, didn't I? Okay. It was during this time, extended Christmas break, that Elvis finally tried LSD. They had all tried marijuana brownies the previous August, and Elvis' interest in consciousness expanding drugs had been stimulated by his reading, particularly Aldous Huxley's Doors of Perception and Timothy Leary's 1964 psychedelic manual. I read that. What a weird book. I can honestly say in my life, I've never done LSD, I've never done heroin, I've never done cocaine, I've never done crack, I've never done. I took Black Beauties for a while to keep me working. Actually, I did do it for a while. I did it 3 times and never did it again. We were working some heavy shifts, and I was getting tired. So the guy handed me a couple of what he called Black Beauties, which was probably just the same as these Dexedrine. And so I took them, and I worked a double, two shifts back to back. Got home still wide awake. My wife woke up the next morning with the whole house completely spotless. I washed every window. I washed all the clothes, did all the dishes, swept up the floor, and I waited till she woke up to vacuum. The bathrooms were spotless, and I was still wired. And she says, "Keep taking them." I go, "No, I'm going to die." And that's all I've ever done. I'm a musician. I've done I did my share of smoking pot, but I never ever was ever tempted to take any of that stuff. I knew somebody, I didn't see it, that died from heroin, and I was 14 or 15 years old, and that told me right there, I don't even want to take the chance. So those books, did they come from Larry? I don't know, but I'm according to from what I understand, Larry never even touched the stuff. So now we're to the deal with the 1967 deal here. So, Lily, there's another simple word for them too. Arse kissers. They are the worst. I worked with 2 who have degrees in it. Yeah, I've had a few people that worked for me that were like that. So Elvis's new deal with the Colonel went into effect on the very first business day of the new year. They had initially spoken of it on the phone several weeks before, and the way that Colonel explained it, everything would just go on business as usual, as it always had. The Colonel would continue to take care of business with Elvis as his only client. The only difference was the new contract would recognize for the first time in business-like fashion that Elvis was his only client. It was never mentioned before that he would be the only client. This is when it changed. and that they had formed a new partnership, and that was called, for now, was a partnership agreement. Colonel would go on taking his 25% management fee on all existing contracts and on all future contract guarantees as well. But that managerial split would apply only to the flat payments that derived from those contracts. So if Elvis was contracted to MGM for a picture for which he was to receive $750,000 plus 50% of the profits, the Colonel would take his normal 25% management fee on the portion of the deal that represented salary, but on the profits there would be a 50-50 split. Since in essence, with all the work Colonel put into publicity and promotion of the picture, its success represented really a joint venture. So basically, this goes on to say Parker was going to be making more money. He was concerned. He's 50 something years old now, and he's concerned about his future. And he's and he's also seeing, probably the downturn of the money coming in from the movies, and he's probably thinking, well, I got to do something to get him more money here on my side of the boat. So he works this. He said, they talked about it in that letter that we showed yesterday. Or talked about yesterday, or I think we showed it, was a confirmation of their conversation. Then the contract was actually signed a little bit later and backdated to the date that it was supposed to be in effect. And Elvis never, he never challenged it. He just let it. That's just the way Elvis was, and it's to a fault.
Question of clarity. I've never been good with figures, but am I correct then in saying that, in essence, then with the 50% profit that Kono got plus his 25% managerial salary, am I then correct in saying Kono received 75% then?
No. He received 25% of the original flat fee of $750,000. He would get 50% of the profits. So Elvis was paid $750,000 to a movie. This is just a sample.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Parker got 25% of that.
Mm-hmm.
Then the profits from the movie is above the initial contract, and that was split 50-50.
Oh, okay.
Elvis, by the age of 30, should have looked elsewhere. That's how many times
Yeah.
It's just.
That's a sad part.
It's the sad part, yeah. And then it was a partnership that existed in far more than contractual fact. Managers, since time immemorial, have sought financial advantage, though the kind of partnership, joint venture, and side deals on which it might have been, thought the Colonel wrote the book. And there were side deals and all that the Colonel made that Elvis never got a dime from.
Oof.
And Elvis never knew about. And see, that was part of that. And that was part of that whole lawsuit at the end where they had to, they went after Parker and they wound up, and that's where the agreement come. I think it was, and I'm learning more about it. And somebody correct me if I'm wrong if they know, but I think that's where the agreement came in that Jack, I thought, hey Jack, nice to see you.
Hey Jack, good to see you.
The 50-50 deal was only for merchandising back from the original contract. So that deal changed in 1967 when he started getting 50-50 of the profits from the movies, from contracts. So Elvis got his initial contract. We're paying you $750,000 to do this movie. Parker got 25% of that. Then the profits used to be 25%, but Parker now was getting 50% of that too.
So am I correct in saying then Elvis's contract was amended twice? This one in 1967 and then again in 1973?
Yep. In 1973 it went full 50-50. But now you got to keep in mind one thing. Though it was just like another grab at money and everything, and if Elvis had been at the same money generating machine that he was earlier, it would have been a windfall. But you got to remember, 73 through 77, record sales weren't as strong. He just sold the catalog. So all he was going to make the money off of was what was from 73 to 77. So
he was getting a lump sum.
And that's why Colonel Parker was making that deal, because he saw the downfall of the profits coming in, and he wanted to. And that's where, and then that's where they sold all the. And then of course Elvis sold those rights because of the anticipation of the divorce.
Yeah, he was pouring water into the bucket before all the water ran out of the tap, basically.
Yeah. So I think I got it. Let me get to the page with that part, because I know it's in here. Okay, so the new agreement. I'm trying to get to the 73, and it's further ahead here. Hold on. Oh, that was it. That's it. That's all I got of that stuff. So that's the snake.
Oh, thanks for popping in, Val.
Yeah, Val, thanks. Good to see you. Really appreciate it. That was Larry. I covered the. Here's the 73 deal right here. So I need to move this up here. So this sums up the deal right here on 73. So the contract, let me enlarge this for me. So the contract that would actually come to $5.4 million was formalized over the next couple of months. And this is going back in that time, 73. But backdated to March 1st, when the Colonel's new 50-50 personal management agreement with Elvis had gone into effect. Under the terms of this new agreement, the somewhat arcane joint venture language of Elvis and Colonel's 1967 contract, which defined contractual incomes alone as subject to a 25% commission. Verbiage. It's all wound up as a 50-50 split. Okay. Perhaps to ensure that there could be no question under which personal management agreement this one-time RCA payment was to fall. The payment was structured as if the old agreement were still in effect, with $400,000 tacked on at the front end and divided 75-25, 75 to Elvis, 25 to Colonel, as if that were the deal. And the $5 million that represented the actual buyout treated as a side deal to be divided 50-50. He was a wheeler and dealer, man. He made sure he got what he could. And it just, it just goes on. And see, and these deals hurt him, after, back at, when was the suit? 80, 81?
81.
And, he wound up getting, what, $1.5 million from EPE, and he wound up having to cough up all the memorabilia. And they got, they supposedly got millions of dollars worth of memorabilia, but they didn't get all of it. And that's what the other lawsuit's about right now with the cruise. With cruise, there's stuff there that was it's actually, I think the son's name is Tom McDonald, has got, was supposed to be part of all that memorabilia, and that's what's in question, because there's a lot of it's worth quite a bit of money. Yeah, Kirsty, I just think Elvis didn't really even care anymore at that point. It's a shame. It's a shame.
It's crazy to think that, in essence, I forgot my original thought. It's going to sound like gibberish if I try to put it together now, but the long and the short of it is this: the Colonel hid behind a whole lot of legal bullshit.
Here you go, Val. I don't know if you've gone left, but here you go. That's goodbye to Val. She loves that song. It was either that or the thought of having to rebuild a whole new management system would it was at that time. What legal advice did Elvis have? Did he actually have a lawyer?
Yeah, Beecher Smith.
At that time?
Yes.
Who?
Beaches Smith.
Was it a relative?
No, no relation.
So depressing to read this stuff.
He really shame. I
You
feel
know,
sorry for
it,
really.
and that's the thing about Gronik's set here. The first half is so upbuilding, and it's all the story, and you see the rise. Like I say, the last train to Memphis. It's just the making of the king. It's the making of the legend, and then the next one is just. I hate to say it, but it's just a downward turn.
It's like
and all driven by 90% by Parker. Maybe less, maybe a little bit less. Elvis has got some culpability, just like in anything, any kind of relationship. It's a fit. It's never, very rarely is it 100% one person's fault. But Elvis let it happen. And his personality, the Elvis that we know, was a fault at times. A fault, not at fault, but a fault to him and his. Yeah, could you just imagine if that contract that they signed in '56, which I am very comfortable with, the 25% because of him being the only client, because no other managers had one client, and they made 10% here, 10% here. They had different people making 10 to 15%. So I was fine with that, and I was fine with the 50-50 merchandise deal because that was a separate business. Okay, so I'm fine with that. If that had held true, and Parker had been an honest person and held true to that beginning, imagine the wealth that Elvis would have had.
wow. And also, to be fair, I can kind of understand Elvis's thought process, or at least try to, in terms of, he figured he was over 40. He figured he was on his way out. He figured that within 5 years he would be gone, dusted, and forgotten.
Who's that?
Elvis. So he didn't have the insight that we now unfortunately do have in hindsight, to say that I should fight for something because I'm still going to be around in 40 years from now. At that point in time, I don't think he honestly believed that he would be around another 20 years even. So for him,
Jack's got okay, go ahead. I don't want to forget this point with Jack, but go ahead.
for him it kind of made sense to say, okay, but why should I push for more? Because I'm going to be dead and gone in this, well, not literally, but in the industry, I'm going to be dead and gone within 10 years from now. So, keep it as it is, and at least get something, then try and fight for more and end up with nothing.
Yeah, Jack, I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't heard that. Was it revised in the agreement? I don't know, but because that was with RCA, so I don't know if they could really go after him for that. But Jack says, I believe the back catalog sale was reversed or revised in the '80s. I don't know. That's a good. I like to. I need to.
That would be very interesting to know.
Yeah, I want to look that up. Artists today sell 50% of the rights to the catalogs for 100. Yeah, yeah, that they do. There's a lot of them that do that, and for an infusion of cash, but to sell it all, because they sold the whole catalog, didn't they? Prior to '73. Wow, that's a good point, Jack. Thanks. I'm gonna look that up. Bye, Donna. Thank you very much. I appreciate you hanging around.
Yeah, it was good. Hope to see you next time.
Look what happened to John Fogerty. He didn't even sell his catalog. He lost all the rights to his songs to that snake Sal Vance and Zance, and he couldn't. He wouldn't. If every time he'd play a song, he would have to give all the profits to this guy, and then Sal Zance, he decided to sue Fogerty because he wrote a song that sounded like another song he wrote, and he sued him for plagiarism. So he sued him. He sued him for stealing from himself. but Fogerty won.
Yeah,
But Fogerty finally he finally let it go, because for years when he went back to touring in 84, 83, I got some great pictures. I saw him at the Fox Theater. I love it. It was just I've seen him several times since he started touring. And I went to go see him at the Fox Theater when he started touring, when he released out The Old Man Down the Road and all that album. And he wrote the song about Sal Zance. And he when I saw him in concert, he didn't play any Creedence songs because he refused to give a dime to that guy that stole those, that tricked him out of it. And
Hi, Helen.
Hey, Helen, good to see you. So he finally, he finally just said, you know what, I'm going to play the songs, and he does. And I finally got to see him in concert doing a set of Creedence songs. It was so cool. But he was still good. I mean, Fogerty's good. But it's just the record companies back in the 50s and 60s really screwed bands over. A lot of people lost all their rights to their songs. As I understand it, the catalog sale was considered a bad deal by management, was worked out in I think what happened is, I could very well be wrong, but this is my understanding of that. In the lawsuit, of course, they considered it a bad deal, and I think what happened is, in restitution, of course, EPA gave Parker $1.5 million, and I don't think they reversed the contract. I think Parker was unable to sell all that millions and millions of dollars of memorabilia and had to give it to EPA in payment for that. But I more than likely am wrong about it, because I find myself wrong a lot about it with these contracts, because I'm just learning a lot about these contracts. But that's a good question. I want to look that up.
Yes, Bob, as far as I know, as far as my knowledge tells me, that was one of, if not the reason.
Well, he also because he didn't want to lose Graceland, so it was a twofold. If the suit, he didn't have the money to pay off Priscilla, which he didn't pay her off. He just gave her an advance payment for the many years that still exist, and then he didn't want to lose Graceland. So,
so it was a twofold decision, but yes, Priscilla played a big part in that.
But don't forget, she saved Graceland. I'm joking, right?
Whoop-de-doo.
You can't fix stupid.
Yeah, and bear in mind that she dragged his ass back to court, and she sued him for more money, and this was...
No, she's still grabbing for it.
On top of the fact that he bought her a house, he was paying her monthly expenses, he was giving her money for her social life, and he was giving money for Lisa, which he naturally would have done anyhow.
Well, he had to sell the one house out in Hollywood to help pay her too.
Yeah. I mean, he bought her house, he paid for her furniture, he gave her money for her social. There was absolutely nothing that she wanted for, because Elvis was paying for everything. All he wanted was, he said he was happy to pay for it all, because it had a direct correlation to Lisa and Lisa's living standards. But I think more so, silently, he did it because it was a case of, I'll pay whatever the hell I need to pay, just get the hell out of my life.
Well, the money still hasn't stopped. She's still living off his name. I mean, this whole deal where she's touring right now in advance of the book, and she's doing these Comic Cons, and that's kind of an oxymoron, huh? Her going to a Comic Con. Anyway, she's charging $600 for an autograph, and these are just numbers I want to remember. $600 for the show, $200 for an autograph, and you got to pay $100 to have it personalized. Somebody I don't hold me to the numbers, because somebody told me that's what they were getting. She was charging, But first of all, I wouldn't pay $6 to go see her, much less $600.
I wouldn't pay
And
6 cents.
you couldn't pay me $600 to go see her, but I would let him pay me, and then I would no show. Pay me before, give it to me in advance, and I would no show.
Yeah.
Come get me. Pay me cash. I'll sneak behind the, Anyway.
Seriously? Jeez.
It's
And
crazy.
the sad thing is just not knocking them. They entitled they entitled to their belief or whatever, but hell,
Yeah.
I wouldn't pay that. I wouldn't even pay a third of that. I wouldn't even do it for free.
Hey, Leslie. Leslie popped in.
Hey, hiya,
Hello,
Leslie.
hello. Glad to see you pop in. Dollars. Yeah, Leslie says dollars. That's it.
Yeah. Bullshit. Money talks and bullshit walks.
Wait, he said, Dan, $125 and up. I told you. Oh, it was Dan for. Yeah, okay. Thanks for clarifying that. I heard from reliable sources she's charging $1,200 per autograph now. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we saw the one intimate evening with her from Germany back in March, where her facts are just so out of
She's
whack.
all over the damn show.
She's all over the place. She was at camp when he died, and oh my God, should I replay that? It's so obnoxious. It's actually hilarious. Her comment.
And yeah, we're gonna go see Daddy, but Daddy's sleeping. That was when she was in LA, remember?
You really have to be a mug to pay to see her. A mug. That's a.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's Laurie. She's psychotic. Somebody brought up the comment that maybe she's got a form of dementia. But if she did, why is she out traveling like this? Because you and I have firsthand experience with my mother passing away from dementia. If you got some form of it, I don't see them going out on the road traveling around. But I think she just got a bad case of unable to tell the truth. She's got a bad case of selling herself and making her look like the victim. If you listen to that interview, though I just played the beginning of a little bit, which is with the quartet, the Pink Quartet, I'll call them. I listened to the whole interview, and it's just so disgusting. Her comments, well, not disgusting, but it's just so contradictory of what she's saying here in March. And then, of course, we saw the other interview with Piers Morgan where we couldn't make it through the whole thing because it was making everybody just sick to their stomach. I had to stop it. I mean, myself, my right foot was twitching.
I agree with Jack. 100% I do. There's some form of mental deterioration there. Most definitely.
I just think I just think it's a narcissistic type of personality. It's just she does no wrong. She's the victim. She's the one that's been victimized. Anyway, Leslie got LOL dementia. That works for her dollars, and it does.
Yeah. She's the victim, but she walked out like when Lisa was how many months old? 4 months old.
Liabilities. Christy calls it liabilities.
Yeah.
There's one thing my dad taught me, growing up is, because he caught me telling a couple of lies, and he didn't say anything to me. Then he come back a little bit later and asked me the question again, maybe a couple of days later, and I told him a different story. And he says, well, which is it? And I looked at him. I think I was like 10 or 12. And I still remember we were standing in the garage. He says, well, you told me 2 days ago it was this answer. Now you're telling me this. And I kind of looked at him. I said, I told him the truth, which was neither one of the other two stories. So I wound up telling him the truth. He says, I'm going to tell you something. He says, first of all, I'm taking your guitar for 2 weeks for lying to me. And so then I started crying. And then once I stopped crying, he says, I'm going to tell you something now. Maybe this will teach you a lesson. He says, you never remember the lie. you always remember the truth. And he says, because the truth is an experience. A lie is you have to make up something and you're not going to remember that lie 2 days from now or the exact details. And I'll never forget that. And I know there were a couple other times that I told lies and it came back to haunt me. And from that point forward, I just learned one thing. If the truth is going to be something that hurts me, then I'd rather be hurt than look like a liar. Because I think I have more respect for somebody who comes and tells me the truth and it's not a good thing than telling me a lie and hiding behind it, because I absolutely despise liars. And you and I talked about that, Cam, being lied to. And it's just,
because to me, being lied to by someone is the same as them telling me straight out, I think you're an idiot, because that's what people do when they lie. Well, at least that's my perception and how I love it. It's if people lie to me, they secretly believe under the waterline that I'm not intelligent enough to deal with the truth. And by people lying to me, they undermine my intellectual capability. And I hate that. Rather come out straight up and tell me, look, I don't have 2 cents for you, or you're not worth 2 minutes of my time because I think you this, that, and whatever. That might be your perception, and I'll give you that. You're entitled to that. I'm not going to waste my time proving you otherwise. But don't be in my life and allow me to treat you a certain way based on what you portray, and then come back and have the audacity to lie to me when I figured you out, because that's as good as you saying to me, I believe you're a fool, but I don't have the balls to tell you straight up that you're a fool.
Okay. Now I know some of you saw this the other day, but I just I want to go through it and pause it, because this just goes to show you how stupid she actually feels that Elvis's fans are. Why am I getting? I'm sounding like I'm in it. My mouth is muffled. So I'm going to play this again. It's only 2 minutes long, but I'm going to pause it at certain points and just look. And you're gonna hear. What I did is I captioned it because it's really kind of hard. Some guy snuck in a cell phone. This is in Germany at an intimate evening with Priscilla, and this is a clip out of it. It's absolutely freaking hilarious.
And I said, well,
What this is when she's getting a call from Joe about Elvis passing.
what's happening, what's going on? And he said he didn't say, he just said, give a message to you that you've got to call him as soon as possible. When we didn't have phones, at that time, hand phones, so I rushed to my house, and the phone was ringing. I could hear it as I was driving in my driveway, and I'm going, oh my God, I hope nothing happened. I was thinking my daughter, because she was away at camp, and I thought something happened. Maybe Elvis. Was trying to get me. Some people were trying to get me. So I'm thinking everything. I got to the phone. I go, Joe, what's going on? What's happening? And he said, Zella, it's Elvis. And I go, what about him? And he said, he's no longer with us. He's dead. And I went, what? What are you talking about, Joe? Joe used to be our comic. He used to, kid around. I said, Joe, don't do this, and he goes, so I mean it. You have to come to Memphis. And I'm going, oh my God. So I stopped on the side of the road, and my sister and I were talking, and Joe had said that he was sending a plane for me. So that was probably the hardest, most horrible phone call, not probably was, that I had ever gotten. In fact, that, Elvis passed, it was very, very hard to even accept. It was, I had to, when I went home, I went into my room and closed the door to be by myself and just try to figure this out, what happened. I had talked to him just a couple of days before, and then I found out, that he, that there's a lot of medication.
Sorry, Cam. I hit the wrong button. I fucking deleted you.
I figured out what the hell was gone, because it was playing, then it was stopping, then it was playing, then it was stopping.
Yeah, I didn't realize when I hit that button, I was taking us off the camera. So you heard in that story where I paused it, where she said she was at camp. She heard the phone ringing when she pulled into the driveway. It was ringing inside the house. Joe's joking around. He's a comic. He's going to joke around and say, I'm going to call Priscilla and tell her Elvis is dead. And then she's soaking it all up, and she decides to pull over the side of the road and stop. But she's talking to Joe on what? The carburetor? I don't think so. They didn't have cell phones. She just got through saying they didn't have cell phones back then. And then she brings up about him being on medication. All in a 2-minute span, she told 4 lies. Yeah, Jack, how loud must that phone been? Yeah, when it rang, it went, ooga. That's why, it's just, my God.
And yeah, Lisa was at camp when Elvis was due to go on tour that same night. Elvis would have said, "Yeah, right. I'm going on tour in 2 weeks. Let her go to camp." Lisa, you want to go to your father or you want to go to camp? No, Mama, I'll go to camp. Yeah, right.
Anyway, I think I've beaten that horse to death, but I just got to laugh. It's just, and I'm not going to play the Jonathan, I think his name is Jonathan Ross interview. I just wanted you to see that intro. That's the treatment she deserves at the beginning, where you have the four pink, I don't know what you want to, I'm not going to be nasty about it, because I don't believe in that, but it's just their whole presentation. It's just really kind of obnoxious.
Yeah, there we go. Jack hit the nail on the head. Lisa was at Camp Graceland.
Yeah, Graceland, yeah. Nothing but a left. No politics, Dan. I don't allow politics talk here. You probably don't know that. I don't allow politics, and I don't allow religion. None at all. It gets into heated discussions, because we do have people on here from both sides of the fence. So, just no politics at all. Pink flamingo. Laurie's got it. The pink flamingos. Hey, no, you didn't know. You don't know, and no harm, no foul. But we've got with politics, and with especially in this group, you're going to have people from both sides of the fence, and all I know is when you start talking politics, we have great discussions here with this channel. We have very respectful conversation, and it's great. So that's why I hold the rule, Dan, and love having you here. And I know you don't know that, because we haven't had anybody bring anything up for quite a while. But you guys are so respectful to everybody, no matter if you agree. We have great time. I learned so much from you guys. Cam and I talk about it every time, and I know I talk about that every time. We enjoy everybody's opinions, and I learned some. It's like Jack brought up. You guys bring up great questions. Everybody does. Jack's got a great question there about the contract. Was it rescinded? Well, I'm gonna know that now. I don't know if Leslie was here. She might know. But when they did the settlement, when they sued Parker and everything, was that 1973 agreement with RCA, was that rescinded or reversed? I kind of lean towards no, because it was a deal with RCA and not actually with Parker. But then Parker did handle it, so I don't know. That's kind of a great question.
Yeah, Jack has another point too. She sang "Happy Birthday" in August a few years ago.
Remember she sang? Yeah, I know. I remember that.
Maybe it's just a case of the real McCoy Elvis fans, the people that have been there from the beginning, basically people that have common sense. Maybe they just getting to the point where they're sick and tired of her shit. They starting to see who the hell she was, who the hell she is, and who the hell she will ever be. And maybe they just putting their foot down and saying no. And they collectively standing up and saying, screw you, we don't want you involved anymore. You relinquished that right on the 8th of October 1973 when you put your signature on those documents, and get the hell out.
Somebody made a comment this morning or yesterday on Facebook, and I responded to it. It really kind of irritated me, and I deleted part of my comment. I wasn't nasty or anything, but I just don't. Sometimes I'll make a comment, and I want it long enough there for them to see it, and I'll delete it because, I just, having the channel and everything, I don't want to stir up, me of all people, don't want to stir stuff up. But anyway, so it was a conversation about Elvis Week, and she made the remark that they were talking about Linda Thompson being there, and she goes, "Oh God, not another! Why is she always there?" And so I go back and I say, "Well, this will only be the third time she's been there in the 48 years since it'll be 48 years this year since he died." What do you mean always? And then she comes back, well, it's bad enough she's got to be there. Her or Priscilla, neither one to be there. They didn't even invite Ginger Alden. And I went back, I said, listen, the world doesn't revolve around you. The Elvis Week is not scheduled around you. There are people that happen to like Linda Thompson. There are people that happen to like Priscilla, but she's not going to be there from my understanding. There are people that don't like Ginger, but there are people that are. So who are you to determine who the schedule should be? And I just left it at that. I said, should I call you later to let you know what my next comment's going to be? And then I left it there for long enough to her to reply back. And when she did, I deleted my comment. She saw my comment. And of course, it deletes her comments too. But you know what? People out there just think the world revolves around them. They got the decision. They got the right to say who should be at Elvis Week. Who the hell do they think they are? Irritates me. Of course, I never share my opinion. Right, Leslie? I never share my opinion. Right, Cam?
Hell no.
You guys all know. You all know here about me. But you know what? I have an open mind. I did. Cam will tell you that. But then Cam always reminds me, well, I told you so. I told you so. I told you.
And to be fair too, I don't do it with any malicious intent. It's just me kind of my own validation.
No, I know you don't. I laugh at that.
It's my own validation to myself. Like, hey, I actually got it right. I read between the lines this time. You didn't bite me in the ass.
And then when we disconnect, I go, that asshole.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kidding. PMS. Okay, I got PMS. What's the L? Yeah, Leslie goes, never, ever.
Pissing myself laughing.
Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense. I have a good way of, that's one thing I learned from my dad. I know how to be snarky. He always used to say that. Be snarky.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, Lori, I totally disagree with you. Priscilla, she's very educated. She's so well educated. In fact, she's able to play dumb and make people believe that she's dumb.
Yeah.
So she's very educated.
She
Because it's
Yes.
only very educated people that can play both sides of the fence and actually get people to buy into it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
she might not be academically educated,
I think that's what
but
Lori meant.
she's very street smart.
Mm. Well, anyway, I think this is going to be a good Elvis week. Now, let's just start playing catch up. I don't want to start saying goodbye because when I say goodbye, then we wind up for another 2 hours. So, anyways, a few things I want to bring up about the channel. We got some things that we got going. I love this discussion. I mean, we always what was the first thing we started off with? It was Priscilla. Then we went to Larry. Then we went to the Colonel, and we're back to Priscilla.
Mm-hmm.
What a roundabout way we went. A little bit. We touched on Joe a little bit.
Full circle this week again.
Yeah, Leslie says I inherited my dad's sarcasm.
Oh, but Leslie, you have to agree. Sarcasm is the best.
Oh yeah,
it's the best, especially when people don't know that you're being sarcastic. I love sarcasm.
Yeah. All right, so here, real quick, let's get back to this.
Yeah, Lily hit the nail on the head. People like her can master the arts of manipulation without it having an academic background. Oh yeah, you're right, Lily. She got the degree in that one.
That's what it was. I started off with today was manipulation.
She got the degree. She got the degree at that one, and she was 14 years old. She loved it.
When I started off today with a little bit of a rant of being manipulated by another channel, and it's not the channel I had problems with. It's a channel that you would think I wouldn't have problems with. So I went on a little bit of a rant because the last couple of weeks has been a little bit of manipulation game, and it all turns out to jealousy. And I don't understand. I wish everybody success with other channels. I don't care, but don't be devious and sneaky. So, and I had to reassure that there was nobody that follows my channel here and as part of this discussion was I even talking about. So, but I had to, because I almost canceled today's show just out of depressed. I was really depressed.
No, Costy, no names were mentioned. But those people, and those situations know who they are. But
I'm not mentioning because that'll give this person satisfaction to know that. All I wanted to do was vent, and if they hear it, fine. If they don't, fine. I vented. Yeah. I have to do that every once in a while to get it out of my system. Anybody who's been following me for a while knows I do that. And I just, when I put my trust in other people that I feel like I trust, to find out that they've been manipulating me that I've known about, but then, it just went too far. So I just had to address it. And I've actually, well, I'm not going to say anymore because you'll figure it out. I'm not going to name names. I refuse to name names, but I will say this. It is not the person that I had problems with back in December, the hateful person. So nothing to do with that at all. It's just a new thing. So,
hey, I want to take this opportunity, if you don't mind, just 2 seconds. I'm going to steal your thunder. I just want to say to Leslie, nice to see you, Leslie. I'm hoping you're doing better. We've been keeping you in our thoughts, and I know I sent you a message a while back, but I kind of kept myself on the back burner because I wanted to give you the necessary space that you needed, and I'm sure Rick feels the same. But hopefully you're doing better, and it's really doing us good to see you in the chat again. So,
Leslie, can I share with them what I received this week? I need your permission. I want to get your permission.
Oh, yeah.
I did share it with but Leslie has a way of tugging at my heart. And her and I have a 3 or 4 about 4-year relationship through the CGF Foundation, and we become she's like a sister to me. And I gotta see where I got that picture while I wait for her to say something. Messenger. find it here in a second. There we go.
Yeah, I agree,
Okay.
Jack. That's it. It's like you and I have discussed also, and Rick's of the same conviction. I think the
Yeah.
older
See, the
the o-
conversation's over for me with it. I'm ignoring it from this point forward.
the older a person gets, you just get to a point in time where you look at certain people and situations, and you measure it against your own life and go, I don't need this shit. And you actually put it down and you move past it, and you don't even feel guilty about putting it down and moving past it. And I think that's pretty much, I know that's where I am. So people can say what they want, people can do what they want. As long as it doesn't influence me negatively or put my back up against the wall, then I'm happy to let them do whatever the hell they feel they need to do.
Okay, for those of you who have been with me for a while, you all know that Leslie does these creations, these absolutely beautiful artwork. And she takes jumpsuits of Elvis's and she creates embroideries. And I want to start. I want to start when she's ready to start doing more creations. I want to have her let me know, because I want to start featuring her on a regular basis on the channel. And I'm rebuilding my web page to get it back active, because I've been paying for it, but I haven't really been active on it. But now that we got things going, I want to add the pages. And we also have one other person that does Elvis type of. So I want to start featuring her, but I got to get Leslie. I want to get her set up first. So, anyways, this is what the first one is. This is what she sent. I received in the mail by surprise. She knows that my favorite jumpsuit. Oh, that doesn't look good. Is the peacock suit. That's the jumpsuit that Elvis wore the first time when I saw him in. He wore it the first time when I saw him in 1974. Absolutely beautiful, and I'm going to show you some close-up needlework on this thing. It's absolutely
insane, beautiful,
perfection. And I got it. It's funny because that morning I get a thing every morning from the post office that tells me what's going to be delivered that day. And that morning I looked at it and said, I got a package coming, and it was a strange tracking number. And I got to thinking, where's this? I knew it was from overseas, but I just knew I got a package coming from overseas, and I never said anything. And then I asked my wife, I said, you ordered things from overseas? And she says, no. And then she looked at it, she goes, I bet I know who that's from. She's smarter than I am.
Okay, where'd you go now?
Who, me? I know. I'm.
Hey, you got to stop pressing buttons there on the back end.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of this picture. I'm trying to figure out where I put it. Oh, there it is. How's that?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, so I'm going to put another one up here. This is This is the close up. Look at the detail in that.
You know what it looks like? You know what it looks like to me when I look at it like that? It really looks like Leslie built a miniature version of the jumpsuit, and she put it in its own little display case.
I mean,
it's like I want to open it, and if I pull it out, the legs are gonna unravel with the arms and the collar and the whole thing.
Yeah, I want to
it's
show
just
you.
Awesome.
Okay, here's the next one. Look at the detail.
Wow.
Now, what's cool? What's cool about it? And this is what I caught the detail on it. You go back to this one. Look at how she's got it even like it's on the sides. See the sides down by the hip, and it goes around the sides. It's like absolutely beautiful.
Leslie, you do all this by photo? You look at a photo and do it, or how do you do it? Do you scan a photo and make a pattern? Or I'm curious to know, because the detail on this is just mind-blowing. There's nothing out of shape. The colors match 100%. It's awesome.
Yeah. So could
Yeah.
work for B and Leslie could work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So if anybody's interested, should I go ahead and have them email you, Leslie? I don't
It's
know what
awesome.
status you are right now and doing some more. I don't want to have people start making requests when you can't do any and not do anything right now. But I want to put up some of the work again back like I used to. I used to do a sharing feature, and we kind of got away from all of that for a little while we were doing the books. But I want to get back into that. I want to start featuring a page of things that people do. Susan, I could barely sew a button on straight or a hem.
Yeah, I'm with Susan on that one.
I would totally have one of those.
Oh yeah, you're dead on, Costi. Leslie made one of the chain suits also, and that's just
I print
that's
the
my
photo. Oh, that's cool. She prints the photo on cotton poplar and then embroiders it and beads it. Very
that's
cool.
just awesome.
Brilliant.
That's just awesome.
So I wanted to make sure I shared that. I had those. I had the one picture of me holding it, but I thought, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to show all three of them since Leslie's on here. I'm glad she popped in because, I'm telling you, when I opened up that package and I pulled it out, first of all, I had to tell my wife she was right. And then I mean,
that must have been painful.
And yeah, well, what was painful was the look my wife gave back to me. It's like, well, of course I am. It was like Cam. I told you so.
But yeah, I had to give Leslie a verbal medal because it was the first time this guy was literally speechless. He opened the package while I was on a call with him, and we were talking like I don't even remember
I
what we
forgot
were
you were
talking
there.
about.
Oh my god!
And the moment he opened this package was like boop. There was no words, but I tell you, I could see in his facial expression there was no words to express the gratitude that he felt when he opened the package. It was really something. It was really awesome. Why are you hiding your face now for? You want to tell people you're all proud now that you swallowed your words. You're also a human being, you know. I know sometimes you think you're Superman, but I hate to bust your bubble.
Batman.
Oh, you're Batman. Okay.
No. I have Leslie's going to be a friend for life, and I say this many times that since I've started this channel, I've got so many friends that I've never met. We're virtual friends, but it's like it's like Cam and then Leslie and Brent and some of the others that Michael and I don't know if Leon's going to ever be my friend after that one. And Leslie, if you haven't seen our Inside the Studio, you got to watch it. Leon is a freaking riot. It is so good.
We have you got that promo close by. Can play Leslie the promo. Give her a taste.
Yeah,
I
don't know. Yeah, let me see if have you seen my promo? He's gone. He's gone again. She saw it. She saw the video.
Oh, we had fun that episode, I tell you.
He sent me a message. He wasn't able to make the premiere yesterday, so he goes. He sends me a message. He goes a message. He sends me this message. The comment goes, "Well, I kept disappearing during the recording of it." And he says, "Now I couldn't make the premiere because my wife decided since I was still on holiday, we were going to go to the beach." And he said he had the best time. He enjoyed it thoroughly. Yeah, anytime I've ever seen Leon in a chat or live on video, it was everything was serious, and he's to the point and everything, and he would maybe laugh a little bit here and there, but man, we had this guy in freaking stitches. It's just, and it was all because of him losing them, and I thought, you know what?
Oh, Leslie hasn't seen it yet, and Costa said, "Play it again."
Okay, so here's the here's the promo I did for it.
For Saturday's Inside the Studio that just passed.
Just when you thought it was safe to go inside the studio with Rick and Cam.
This is about the time Leon goes, "What the hell have I got myself into?" Yeah. All right, so, how'd he disappear? What'd I do? He's gone. He's gone. He left. As soon as I said that, he left.
That says a lot for the ratings.
I didn't mean you had to leave. Well, I'm going to leave that in there because that's hilarious. It's great company. I love it. And he just dropped out again.
They're determined to keep me out.
Yeah, I know.
Before. So it's the first time I'm hearing them like they are now.
Wi-Fi.
There's a big queue of people at my window laughing now.
Are you effing kidding me?
Sorry,
Here
go
we go.
on.
Yeah, we're gonna have. They're gonna love this video. I'm gonna put some sound effects.
Oh dear.
I'm out of faces. Did you have to leave us for a minute? Yeah.
5 minutes later.
Yeah, look at the look on the face. That's hilarious.
Don't miss the premiere of Inside the Studio with Elvis with guest host Leon Smith, Saturday, July 26, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
Just when you thought it was...
What the hell? Why would it do that? Remove. Okay. Oh, but I know it's just when we got to the end of that, I go, this is going to make a great promo for it all. You know, I just cut those scenes out, paste them together, throw some sound effects in there, and just thought, okay, let's just have some fun with it. And Leon, he was a riot. I mean, he was having problems with his internet connection, but the nice thing about it is he could pop right back in. But we did get through it. We finally got there. It was a real good inside the studio. So, and for those of you who haven't catching on, or haven't seen it yet, I should say catching on. That's not proper.
Jack.
I didn't even know horses could be toilet trained. Yeah, I had that horse. So anyway, I started, I've been talking about doing it for a long time when I was doing the acapellas. So what I've been doing now is I've taken full albums. I started with Moody Blue and I'm working my way backwards. And so on my channel now, I've got 4 albums uploaded that are all just acapella, the whole album, just as if it was bought it. All in the order, everything. So if you're playing the album, it's just going to be Elvis only voice. I started with Moody Blue, then I did Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee. Then I did the Today album, and this morning I uploaded Promised Land. Now I'm going to jump back because somebody requested me to go back to the 50s. So I'm going to do the first album, Elvis Presley, and I'm going to do Elvis is Back and upload those. But I plan on making all the studio albums, not the soundtracks. All the studio albums. Then maybe I'll do some of the soundtracks. I don't know. But anyway. Yeah, I uploaded it on TikTok and all that. It's been picking up I've picked up a lot of subscribers on TikTok. Oh God, I'm glad you said that. So for those of you who I mentioned a little bit while back, let me see where I put that. Okay. So earlier this week, I am proud to say, very proud to say that I crossed the 25,000 subscriber mark. And so what I'm going to do is next Sunday, I'm going to do a giveaway. I'm not sure what I'm going to give away yet. I got a couple of really good ideas. I got a few items. So I am going to do a giveaway on Sunday for the 25,000. It'll be a nice thing. And it's not going to matter where you live. Because it's not going to be such a big item, but an appreciation for everybody. And if you take a look at, there's a couple of things that I'm really proud of. So in just the last 28 days, I have accumulated almost 1,000 new subscribers, 920 to be exact. I've also gotten 750,000 views in just the last 28 days. And I'm thrilled to death about it. It's just, I started going back and putting in my little short videos and doing those, and they've been picking up a lot of people and the subscribers. I've noticed a lot of new people joining us in some of these chats. And I'm just, it's just going to show that all the hard work that Cam and I, and Rich is involved in it too, all the hard work we put together is being appreciated. And so we got to show that back. So the next goal is going to be 50. And hopefully I'll get there even quicker. But it's you guys that keep us motivated, and on days like I said this earlier when I started this morning just really totally bummed and depressed by some of the flack I was getting for somebody. And I just, so I'm just going to vent and get it off my chest and then move on. And I initially told Cam, I said, we're just going to do an hour show. I'm not going to, if I'm going to be able to be motivated. And once I did that and I got the comments from you guys, I think we had a great show. It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. So, Cam's laugh is just, I think Cam and I've got a great team. We had a great team with Rich, and we're still doing things. We'll be doing things with Rich, some collaborations.
While we're on the topic, you heard from him. He doing okay?
Yeah, he did a video. He's really taken the death of Ozzy Osbourne pretty hard, which I understand. Ozzy Osbourne was his time period, and I understand because I went through the same thing with Elvis, and so he's having a tough time. He did a video the other day, just mentioned he was going to stay off of social media just for about a week or so till he gathers things together, because I know exactly how he feels, and there's a few others among us that are having a tough time with it. I never followed Ozzy. I know some of his songs and I know about him, and I have nothing negative about him. It just wasn't my time period. I just never really got involved in it. There's a lot of bands from that time period I just never followed. But it doesn't make any difference. The guy had an incredible career, and he deserves to be, honored and respected for what he put out there. I did watch his reality show though. That was pretty funny. That was pretty good stuff. And okay, real quick, we're gonna review a few things, then we gotta go. Was that a pit? What is that? Okay, I showed that. All right, so on what? Okay, Discord. Join us on Discord. I'll have the links are down below in the description, but join us on Discord because I make last minute announcements. I put all the announcements for what we got coming out, and we're going to be doing some some watch parties and things like that. So join us on Discord. I got WhatsApp too, so you can join us on there. We've got rid of Cam and I were able to get rid of a spam, and we haven't had any problems since. What we did is we kicked him off and we generated a whole new link. So hopefully he doesn't find that link, but we've had no issues since. So we use both. I put everything on both channels. and we use WhatsApp to call into the show, and we can also use Discord as soon as I figure out how to set it up to take a phone call from Discord into here. But anybody can call into here through the WhatsApp or through Google Voice if you're in the United States. So that covers that. Let me get down here to this. Here we. So Inside the Studios every Saturday at 2:00. Let me put this up here. Can you see that? Inside the Studio?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's Inside the Studio. Every Saturday at 2:00 is the new premiere. All right. And I don't want to mistakenly delete. Okay, then we got, I'm moving stuff around. Sorry, guys. And then we got at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got the book chat we do. We've done about 6 in a row now, and we've been covered the Colonel. This Saturday is the last Colonel books, and then we're going to do a live feed on Monday the 5th. It's actually Tuesday morning. It's to midnight, so it's Tuesday morning, Monday night, when they release the new Quranic book, and I'm getting it on Kindle. And when they release it, I'm gonna share it with you. And we're just kind of flip through it and notice some things about it, and go to the documents, just kind of share some things. We're not gonna read from it because I'll get a strike. But I'll read the book afterwards, and we'll do like we would do with everything else, share some highlights and what we think about it. We'll have a discussion with that. And that's the last discussion we'll do on the Colonel. And then we're going to do the one we're talking about with Priscilla's book. I've ordered the Kindle. I'm reading Elvis and Me. I'm going to reread Lisa's book. I'm finishing off Child Bride. We're going to compare everything for a couple of chats. And then I'm saying 80 oaths to her. We're done. But we do we have some great chats when we get involved with those two. So, and when we'll get into some other books, I'll have you all recommend some books. And then Saturday, huh?
No, I'm greeting Tracy.
Tracy. Oh, hey, Tracy. So Saturday we at 5, we did it as the show was on 6 this Saturday because I attended a memorial of a longtime friend who passed away, and her funeral was during the week, but they did a memorial yesterday at 5. So I went to that, and then we did the show. So it'll be back to 5 p.m. Eastern time. We do documentaries and films, and we have chats about that. And it's the trifecta on Saturdays. And then, of course, we got this show.
We need to change that South African time one. It throws me off every week.
Immediately
I came in on that one, on the slide you just put up there.
That's just an old frame.
Oh.
Though it's been changed on the one I put out. On the watch party?
Yeah, because immediately I went, okay, wait. I'm confused.
Yeah, no, I've changed that. That's just an old one I have in here. And I just wanted to mention it was at 5 p.m. But when I put out the notification of what we're talking about or seeing, it's got the time already changed. I edited all that from the last time you told me so.
Okay. I apologize.
No, I'm just kidding. So anyway, I think we've had a good conversation today. 2.5 hours, longer than what I was going to go after because of how I felt. But you guys made me feel good, and I thank you all. Ooh, that's going to be interesting. I'll have to check that out. Don't tell me. I've heard a lot of bad reviews about Elvis Evolution.
I watched our review too.
You have watched it? I'll watch it. I'm going to watch it this evening. Then don't tell me. Because I like Michelle's thing. She doesn't do as much as she used to do, but she puts these out every once in a while. It's good. All right. So, thank you, everybody. We held on to a nice group of people today. It was nice. We had some new people. I think Brent's left. Oh, he's probably at Steve's show. Banjo Paul, great cover of I Was the One. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, Banjo Paul needs to do CROUBLE.
Yeah. Yeah, do some more. We'll put them on. We'll play them on here. And I got to work on another one with Cam because you've all heard the one Cam did. We got to get him to do an Elvis song. What Elvis song you want to do?
There's so many of them, actually.
Bridge over troubled waters.
No, I wouldn't be able to do that now. I did
would.
it at school, but my voice won't allow me to go that high anymore.
Yeah, I would never even attempt it. I would never attempt a song like that because I don't have the chops.
Oh no, at school I managed to do it.
Yeah, I've never heard anybody ever come close to doing it like him ever. No ETA, nobody. It never has the voice that he has. I could never do it. I just, they may be able to sing it on key, but what happens is the majority of the people, they scream the notes. They don't sing them.
Yeah. Oh, Brent is here. Brent has been hiding in the shadows.
Brent, thank you for joining us today. Appreciate it. Possibility of you attending Boss's review. Are tickets available? Wonder how much. I don't know. The tickets won't be announced for how much they are until August 12th. August 12th is when they're going to put them up, and you'll know. They'll put the seating arrangements out, and they're going to tell you how much they are. So at this point, I don't know. I'm sure they're going to be very limited, but it's a 6-day run?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm going to check out Michelle's review. I pretty much assumed she would probably like it. I don't know. I hate hearing both sides like that. It's a shame that so many people have negative reviews about it. Barb, thank you for joining us. CAT, Kirsty, I'll try to. I'm gonna catch you guys on the call. I hope if you guys will still do that, I'll check and see if I can figure that one out. But that'll be kind of cool. Yeah, we're the Three Stooges, all right. We're the Two Stooges that ate the third one. Yeah, she always has a positive mindset, and that's good. All right, so next time you see us will be Tuesday at the watch party, and I'll send out the notification of what it's going to be on Tuesday morning, and it's probably we'll probably finish off the one we did.
Well, if that's the case, if you're going to make the call, then let me know that you're going to make the call, then I'll come in on the call also.
Yeah, I'll let you know. Or they can. You're on Discord. You're on their Discord, aren't you?
Yeah, but I don't get notifications of it. I put my Discord notifications off because otherwise my phone would be blowing up every 10 seconds.
Oh, mine doesn't go off every 10 seconds.
Well, my Discord, I can't change it to filter out messages. So when messages come through, they come through.
No, yeah. All right. Well, anyway, I will see y'all. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. Had a good show, good time. And I'm going to grab me a little bite to eat here and catch on the call with Kirsty and
Jack
and Cam. And so you guys, thank you. Leslie, awesome to see you today. Glad to hear you're feeling better and doing. I'm glad we could make you laugh today. And then everybody else, love to you all. TCB, adios. Till we meet again.
Bye, guys.
Nanu. I can't even do that. Nanu.
We are two wild and crazy guys.